What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of Small Biz Promos, the podcast, coming to you from Helena, Alabama, outside of Birmingham, Alabama. Again, sponsored by my company, Iron City Pest, where you can visit us at ironcitypest.com. If you're in the Birmingham market, check us out. So I wanted to follow up on some of the things that I addressed in episode 1, especially the story about Turner Pest Solutions. So I had talked about the Google reviews and how he had so few Google reviews, and I had seen a post on Facebook where he was saying that if he could only get, one Google review from all of his customers, he would have more than all of his competitors combined and such and such. So, I had 113 Google reviews, 5-star rating. Looking at this guy, he's been in business a year longer than me. I reach out to him and say, look, man, let me tell you what I did. I believe it'll work for you. Told you guys what happened. He ended up with 10 the first day. I looked today and he's already doubled his Google reviews in just 2 days. So what I told him, the advice I gave him was that research shows that customers respond to a direct request, a personal favor, more than a general directive. Okay, so if you just put out a broadcast message, hey everybody, thanks so much for your service. I really appreciate it if you'd go in there and Google and give me 5 stars to help people find my business. You're going to get almost no one to do it. If you reach out to customers after the fact, after service, you're also less likely to get it. Your biggest chance to get a positive review is after your initial service, after your initial contact. So let's say that you are an influencer or a podcast or something like that. What you want to do is when you have new listeners, new followers, you want to reach out to them individually. Say, hey, thank you so much for following, for liking. If you'd like to give me a review or give me a referral recommendation or a shout out, I'd appreciate it. Here's what I can do for you in return. Here's some benefits. Here's some offers. You'll be up for some giveaways, whatever. In the service industry, the way it works in traditional sales is you want to just directly ask people. So the advice I gave him directly was to make a personal message and send it to text message, email, social media messaging. Really, social media messaging through Instagram and Facebook and text message is the primary way to do it. That's the way I did it. That's the way I've always done it. That's what works. That's what I told him to do. That's what worked for him. And the message just goes something like, hey, this has a tremendous impact on my business. It greatly improves my search results on Google and helps new customers find my company. My family and I would sincerely appreciate it if you take a second. It literally takes less than 1 minute. It's simple, it's easy, it's free. And if you give us 5 stars, you don't even have to leave a review unless you want to. And it works. You'll get a 20 to 30 to 40% return on your request that way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be customers. I think that's where a lot of service providers mess up, is that they think it has to be customers, it has to be followers, it has to be listeners, it has to be people that like your page, that are buying your products. It doesn't have to be. It can be friends and family, because look, Google reviews or reviews on any platform are not necessarily directly about their experience with your service, with your restaurant, with your product. It's also a character reference, okay? I trust that if a service provider has enough friends and families to give him 5-star ratings on Google, and there's hundreds of those people and they've all said great things about him, I trust that this person is probably trustworthy, reliable, and is going to do good work. All right, so you get enough of your actual customers who have used your service, you get your friends, you get your family, you get your acquaintances, you get former coworkers, you get anybody that knows you that will say good things about you, to let the public know that, hey, this is a great individual, this is a great family person, this is a great personality, this is a great company that's doing good things, that will treat you right. And you let those people tell the world about you through reviews, referrals, recommendations. And I'm telling you, you're going to get that kind of result. It's that direct request. It's that personal favor. People are much more likely to do a personal favor than to respond to a general request. And so he did it and got an immediate response. I learned these methods from a company called Podium that was hired by Working Pest Control when I was a service manager in Boston. We started using this company called Podium. They manage the Google results for companies. We took our Google results and our rating in Boston from a 3.2 to a 4.7 in 30 days. 3.2 to 4.7 in 30 days, simply by training our technicians on what to say, how to say it, and to go and directly ask the customers face to face or through text messages for a review. We got so many reviews, so many positive reviews, that we changed our rating. We completely switched around the perspective, the perception of our service, and we wanted to reflect the positive service that we were providing. Because if you leave it to its natural, if its natural ways, what's going to happen is that customers who are upset, who are ticked off, they're going to naturally go in there and voice their concern. They want the world to know. They want to blast you. They want to take you down, cancel culture, take you out. And that's all you're going to see. It's not very often that people have a phenomenal experience and then go and tell people about it. They might tell a friend, a family member, a neighbor, but they don't typically take the time to seek you out to tell people. Luckily, there are loyal customers and great people that do that. But when we're talking about the vast majority, when we're painting with a broad brush here, we got to look at the big picture. And the truth is, the facts show that to get positive reviews, you have to ask for them. It doesn't devalue them. It doesn't mean that they're not legit or sincere or genuine. It just means that that's the process by which you obtain them. And that's just how it goes. So if you have any sort of brand or service, I encourage you to try this method. It's a proven method. It's worked in every region of the nation for multiple companies, multiple types of companies at different times. It's a tried and true method. It works across the board generationally. It works for every gender. It works for every background of person. I'm telling you, that's the way to do it. Personal favors, direct messages. That's the way to get people to do you personal favors. That's how it goes. Because again, you're selling yourself, not selling out, but selling up, right? That is what it's all about. We want to talk about today a little bit also about what I did with the team in South Boston to generate the sales results. And it's not very far from that same message of getting the Google reviews. I trained these people not to be salespeople, right? Because these weren't salespeople. These were service technicians who were being asked to sell, to upsell to existing customers, to sell additional services to first-time customers. And they weren't necessarily always comfortable with it. They were typically introverted type people. They were typically people that wanted to just provide service. They were technical minded, technically oriented, good with their hands service type folks who were hard workers but didn't want to talk too much if they didn't have to. So we had to pull that out of them and inspire them and encourage them. And in doing so, they made more money. The company made more money. The customers are happier. They received more service, better service. So it worked for everyone all the way around. Win, win, win. So the way I did it was I explained to them, listen, you are not selling. You are simply informing. You are just telling people what they need to know. They may not know that we do these services. I'll give you a real life example. We had a technician in Birmingham one time in the pest control industry. He said, I'm sick of the company wanting me to push these services on my existing customers. I feel like they're wanting me to take advantage of my relationships with them. This particular customer was an elderly lady, so he did not offer her a mosquito, tick, and flea service during the spring and summer because he felt like she couldn't afford it. He didn't want to pressure her, that's how he put it. Well, one of our sales reps ended up seeing her later in the summer, about 6 months later, found out that she had gone and gotten herself a mosquito, tick, and flea service with another company. And it turns out she was paying more money, getting more services that she didn't need, and was not getting the trusted service that she'd gotten from her technician who she had had for over a decade with our company. So when the technician thought he was doing her a favor and protecting her, he actually inadvertently hurt her. And, that's the thing. We do not want to pre-qualify people. Never assume what people can afford. Never assume what they see value in. A customer may find value in a service or product that you're providing. It's not your job to determine for them what they value or what they need to spend their money on. You simply inform them. You're a consultant. You're a liaison. You're a concierge. You are the link between the information and their decision. You are a link between the product and service and their money. That's all. You are a middleman. And then if they decide to get it, you provide the product, you provide the service, you provide the entertainment, whatever the case is, whatever the entity is that we are talking about, and then you collect that money. And then they get what they want and you get what you want. It's an exchange of goods. But again, the money is not the motivation. The money is a symptom, okay? The money has to be a symptom of good work being done. Servant-led, purpose-driven work sincerely and genuinely caring about people, putting people first, making about their needs, providing peace of mind, improving quality of life, whether that's through entertainment, social media influencing, or whether it's through traditional home services, residential commercial services, or whether it is a product being sold. This could be retail, this could be a side gig, this could be something that you simply buy and sell online. If anything that you are doing where you are using yourself, your personality, your personal time as a part of your business, you are a small business, an owner operator, or a small company owner, you are putting your personality into it, and a large part of the business depends on your personality. You have got to sell yourself, sell up, don't sell out, and make sure that they are buying you, the idea of you. They are going to buy what they like, what they know, what they relate to. Okay? So there are only two basic rules for successfully making that kind of contact to even get this ball rolling and get started in this process of potentially having this customer do that business and give you that money and exchange those goods. All right, first you have to give what you would like to receive. All right, so what I mean by that is that the attention, the interest, the respect, and liking that you want must also be something you offer to others. So you can't ask for something that you're not also giving. So if you want respect, if you want people to like you, you've got to like them. If you want them to be interested in you, your product, your service, you've got to be interested in them. Second, you have to have an outward rather than an inward focus. Okay, listen to the other person instead of rehearsing your next remark or worrying about your hair or your clothing or your awkwardness. You see what I'm saying? Giving what you would like to receive and staying focused on the other person. Now, it's easier said than done. Fear of strangers may have the effect of making you awkward and self-conscious. I understand that. That's a challenge that I always faced when I was trying to train new people, and it was something that I had to overcome when I was first getting into the business of approaching people, setting up new business, generating activity, generating interest in a product or service. But no matter how much you want to reach out, your attention is always going to be fully exposed on your own appearance and behavior. So they will be very aware of exactly what you're paying attention to. So you can pretend to be listening all day and be in your head, and they're going to know you're in your head. So make sure that you are focused on the person. Now, you may be posting things online, social media promotions and ads and marketing, and approaching your business that way. You still have to realize and recognize and have an awareness that there is a real person on the other side of the screen, on the other side there, that is seeing you as a human being, is relating to you. And a lot of times you'll see me sell my product and my service through humor. I do that because it's a great way for people to connect to something real in them, because everybody likes to laugh. Everybody likes to have a good time. And I want to be seen as someone that's not taking myself too seriously, because I want them to know that I'm not taking them too seriously. They can be themselves with me as I am being myself with them. I want them to see in me something that they recognize in themselves, something good, something positive. Okay? And at the same time, I'm an expert in my field, so it's important to know your product, know your service, know your brand. Focus on the person, the individual, and remember that you're selling the why, okay? Not the what, not the how. All right, so we start off with the why. For my company at Iron City Pest, why do we exist? We exist to deliver peace of mind, to increase the standard of living for you and your family, your pets, and your property. How do we do that? Through effective, affordable pest management that's reliable, trustworthy, with 24/7 communication response. What do we do? Pest control, pest management, and we are Iron City Pest of Birmingham, Alabama, Birmingham's most trusted, where pests are our job and people are our purpose. So you want to focus on buying behaviors, not the thought process, not the psychology, but the biology. Not the psychology, but the biology, okay? People buy with their gut. That's why sometimes you'll explain the facts, the figures, the numbers, the service, the science behind it. You'll do your best to present something in an entertaining way or an informational way, educational way, and they'll say, just doesn't feel right. Why aren't you watching my channel? I don't know, it just don't feel right. Why does the song sound good? I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Why don't you want to use my service? Why don't you want to buy my product? Everything looks good, just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Why do we use that word? Why do we say feel? Because the part of our brain, the limbic system that drives behavior, that is what is being impacted. So it is very important when you are presenting a product that you are focusing on the why, that you are tapping in to the personal aspect of it, to the experience that the user will have, that the experiences they'll have using your service or product. I always tell people when we're talking about pest control to focus on the experience of being pest-free. Tap into the way it's going to feel for a single mother and her daughter to lay in their front yard in the fresh grass at 6 p.m. on an August summer evening in Alabama without being eaten alive by mosquitoes or worrying about ants crawling on them, to be able to watch the clouds go by and have a picnic out in the yard. That's what we're providing. And for whatever your product or service is, you simply apply these same methods and it will work for you. You tap into the why of what you do, the purpose that drives it, and lead with a servant's heart. Be there for your people, for your followers, for your subscribers, for your listeners, for your customers, for your clients, whether you sell real estate, paint houses, build fences, build decks, do plumbing, clean carpet, or you're an influencer, or you are ordained to do wedding ceremonies, or you are in home health, or you are a pharmacist running a local pharmacy, or you're a restaurateur and you're trying to get people to come and enjoy an evening at your restaurant, or maybe you're managing a local theater or managing any sort of local boutique or business. Why do you think community involvement is so important for local businesses? Because it reflects to the people in that community that you're a part of that community, and it automatically gives you something to relate to. That's why we're called Iron City Pest. I wanted automatic brand recognition with the city that I'm in. I wanted people to automatically identify me with Iron City, Birmingham, the tough spirit of Birmingham, the spirit of the people of the city, the history of the city. I want to be connected to that. I want people to know that we are here for them, that we aren't going anywhere, that we are tough, that we are strong. Like the iron industry, like the iron itself. Iron City Pest. You know, your brand has a lot to do with the way people perceive you. Your logo, your slogan, it's not something to focus on too heavily, because more important is your customer service, the way you treat people, how reliable you are, the fact that you answer the phone when they call or the text when they call, and that you show up on time. But the first impression you make through that slogan, that logo, and that website, those things matter too, and we'll dive more into that on the next episode. Logos, slogans, website building, presentations on social media marketing, advertisements, stuff like that. So we're going to get into some of that more. And, we're just going to continue to reiterate this behavior-driven buying practice. We're going to practice listening to people, focusing on the why of what we do, the purpose behind what we do, and develop the skill set of leading as a servant through our work as service providers, or people who make products, entertainers, again, whatever it is that you're listening as, an entrepreneur, small business, small company, someone trying to go it alone or with a side gig, or maybe you're in sales. This is for you. This information is for you. Check out IronCityPest.com if you're in the Birmingham market. This has been Small Biz Promos, where we're going to help you build your brand. Okay? Y'all check in next time. We're going to have a lot of good information about the things that we touched on here to build on top of that, and then sort of reiterate our running theme of serving with a purpose. Thanks. Check y'all later.